Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Corinne. CoryCreates is a channel primarily about cross stitch, but I also talk a little bit about sewing. I am a quilter and a bag maker, and I dabble in sewing garments as well. So welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Today is Saturday, September 13th, 2025, and this is Flosstube number 43. I am fortunate to be back with you today. I am very excited with the things that I have to share with you. Welcome. If this is your first time joining me, I want to extend a warm welcome to you, and I hope you will hit that subscribe button if you see something that you like and decide to stick around and follow my creative journey. To my returning friends, as always, thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate all of your comments, all of your suggestions, and just this month, the opportunity to meet some of you all. So I'm really appreciative of that. I had to pause. My boys just came home and left again. So again, thank you to all of you for coming to spend some time with me on this sunny Saturday. Why do we always start off talking about the weather? I think it's because it's universal. We all have weather. I think the last time I was here, which was about 3 weeks ago, it was starting to get chilly, and it was chilly for a good couple of weeks, like jackets in the morning, maybe take your jacket off in the afternoon. 70s, low 70s was the high. Well, that was the false fall. We are in our second summer. It is going to be in the 90s for the next week or so. My husband and son just came home. He has tennis on Saturdays, and that's when I try to do my videos while they're at tennis practice. And the school that he practices at, it's a high school, and they had a football game, and they called the football game in the third quarter. It's not even that hot, y'all. It's a fall heat. It's a little different than middle of July. But anyway, they had to, because they shut the football game down, all of the outside sports at the school were shut down. Y'all, it's only 93 degrees. But anyway, so they just left again. So what do I have for you today? I've got my blog bag of projects. I'm going to recap my Friday afternoon at Needlework Galleria, where I met a couple of you all there. And I'll tell you what's coming down the pike and share my investments from both Color and Cotton and Needlework Galleria. Tell you a little bit about what I have planned for the rest of the month of September, which is Sampler September. But everything's going well here. We're full swing in school. No complaints so far. My classes are going well. The kids are doing well. Layla's doing well down at school. We're going to take a trip to see her in November. My son is a blossoming thespian. He got a large role in the current musical at his middle school. He's never tried out before, and he got a big part. So he's been around here singing and showed us a few of his moves yesterday. I believe the play is Disney's Descendants. My daughter and son watched all that. I did not. But we're looking forward to seeing him perform that in November as well. So back in the saddle with the rushing around back and forth, doing all the things. So I'm glad I've got a little break that I can come talk to you about cross stitch. You can also find me on Instagram at CoryCreates08, and my Etsy shop where I sell my project bags is Layla P Creations, all one word, on Etsy. Thank you to all of you that continue to support my shop. I really, really appreciate it. So what have I got? Let's get started with my constant project. This is Put a Bird on It by Modern Folk Embroidery. This is part of a stitch along that I'm participating in with the Sunshine Stitchers. You can go to their Facebook page to find out all about it. But I am plotting my way through this. I make sure I work on this every single month. And I will put in a picture, any whips that I have, I will put in a picture and show you where I was the last time you saw it. And this is where I am currently with Put a Bird on It. Again, this is Modern Folk Embroidery. I've got to back up a little bit because now I have quite a bit to show. I am 76.1% done with this. Since the last time I saw you, I've done about 533 stitches, and I am sitting at 10,317 stitches completed out of 13,557. So I have a little bit over 3,000 stitches left, you all. I am so excited about that. I did this motif right here. So up next, I've got a bunch of letters that are sprinkled in here. And then I have only 1, 2, 3, 4 large motifs, and then a couple of small ones sprinkled in there. I need to finish this. This looks like a swan, I think, and I got to finish him. But that's it. I'm in the home stretch, you all. I'm doing my best to finish before December. The end of December, it was a 13-month stitch along that started last December. I didn't actually start it until January. This was my January start, but I'm progressing. I have this is a color conversion that I came up with, and I'm very pleased on the process and the progress that I have made. So that is Put a Bird on It by Modern Folk Embroidery. This is my first Modern Folk Embroidery. I have another one that I would like to get started next year after I get done with this one. And we are in the process of deciding what our next stitch along, EJ is working on what our next stitch along is going to be for Put a Bird on It. So that is my current progress on that one. The next one I'm going to show is one that probably will not be in my next video because I'm going to sit it to the side for a little bit because it is not a sampler. Because I am doing Sampler September and I'm trying to be all in that everything I'm working on is samplers. But I did finish up August working on a study in pink by the Artsy Housewife. This is my first project by the Artsy Housewife as well. This is being done on a 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana that I got off Etsy. Oh, and the Put a Bird on It is being done on a 32 count solo die by Color and Cotton Lugana. But I am almost halfway with the actual butterfly. So here's where I was last time, and here's where I am now. As you all know, I had some frogging that I had to do a couple of months ago, but I got past that and I am complete on this side. So now I just have the other wing to do, and then I've got the border at both the top and the bottom. But she is shaping up so nicely. This is being done with a variety of threads. If I had the called for, I used it, but if I didn't, I converted the called for to a Color and Cotton thread. And this color here is the only DMC that I'm using, and it is 666, that red. But this is a favorite project. I'll tell you my stats on this one because I'm also working on this one in Pattern Keeper. This project, I've done 1,170 stitches since the last video. So I'm sitting at 6,002 stitches done out of 12,428, which puts me at 48.29%. The only reason I'm not at 50 is because I haven't done half of the borders yet. So this one's coming right along. I'm excited. I have quite a few projects right now that I'm hovering around the 50 to 75%. And usually when I get to that point, now I'm ready to just go all in and get them done. So I'm almost at that point with this one. I will pick this back up in October and see how far I can make it before the end of the year. The next sampler that I'm working on is the Floral sampler by JBW Designs. It is being done on I believe this is a 32 count antique white Lugana that I got from Color and Cotton but I wanted something very basic to put it on because I'm using a variegated thread, DMC. It is one of those CoryCreates threads, and it is 4500, which is a variegated pink and green. I have a ton of skeins of these. I think I'm finally almost finished with the first skein. So I'll insert where I was, and then this is where I am now. I still haven't had to move it out of the Q-snap, but I believe I did the M here. I finished the L, I think, and I finished the K. I had part of that back part of the K, and then the D. I did the D right there, and then I started over here. I'm not sure what that's going to be, but I did start over there. So I got all of this done, which was right what I wanted to do. So I'm about 1/4 of the way through this one, I would say, but it's coming along nicely. I love it. It's something that I pick up when I really don't have a lot of time, or I don't want to pull out a bigger project. I just kind of grab this one and put a few stitches in and then go on about my day. This is probably a more in the daytime stitching, when I just want to grab something, especially if I don't know how much time I'm going to have to spend on it. I'll just grab this because I know I can make some significant progress in a small amount of time because I'm not changing colors. I'm just using the variegated threads. So it's coming along nicely. I'm enjoying working on it, and I'm looking forward to continuing with it for my sampler September. This next project is a project I have not worked on since probably May, but it is my Phoenix sampler. Stitch and Jim and I are working on this as a informal stitch along that we are doing together, that we started last summer, but we are working on the Phoenix sampler by Twin Peak Primitives. I have this in Pattern Keeper. I have done my own conversion from the called for over dyes to color and cotton. So far, so good. I'll put in where I was in May, and then this is where I am now. This project is so delicate, you all. I'm just really enjoying it. I am doing this on a 25 count shadow Lugana. I'm doing it 1/1, which is a favorite thing to do. I've only done so far 445 stitches this month. I came down here and I'm working on this bottom part of the urn, which is actually the top of the house. I finished up these little hearts right here, and then I put a little bit more stitching in on the Phoenix. I had to do some frogging and I wasn't sure about these colors for the Phoenix. There's like 3 different color blues. And I think in my conversion, 2 of them were too close together. So push come to shove, I may just go back and use the DMC. The main DMC colors are 930, 931, and 932. So I may just go back and just insert those colors. I think I also added a little bit to this border. So what I'm thinking, at least for the rest of this month, I would like to finish the down part of the border. That way I can see where I'm getting ready to go across. Maybe finish this Phoenix and then continue with the house. I've been itching to get to that house. It's a huge house, but it's a spectacular house. So I'm looking forward. Sorry about the glare, you all. I'm not used to doing a video this early. But there's the house. But I feel like this urn was more challenging than the house is going to be. So I just got to make sure my threads are laying right when I work on that house. It is a light color. I don't think it's white. It might be like 3865, something similar to that in color and cotton. But I'm enjoying working on it. And like I said, I've already got 445 stitches this month. I have a total of 7,088 stitches. And that doesn't sound right. That's not right. I think I was at 7,088 last time. I forgot to change that number. And I think I already threw away my rough copy, but I think I'm at like 7,500 and something right now. So that's where I am. And I'm doing it on Pattern Keeper, and it's working out nicely. And that, matter of fact, let me look at my tablet. I think I got my tablet in here somewhere. I thought I did. Oh yes, I've got my tablet. I can tell you exactly where I am. Yes, I have 7,533 stitches that I've done, and I'm sitting at 31.38%. So the percent was right. I didn't change my final total stats. So that is the Phoenix Sampler by Twin Peak Primitives, and they do have I think they have an Etsy shop, and then they also have a standalone website that you can order this on. There's a couple others of theirs that they have that I really like. I think one of them is like the Golden Bird or Gold Bird Sampler, something like that, but it's got the word gold in it. I think I would like to do that one as well, but they have some very nice, intricate designs. And my last work in progress that I want to share, and it is a sampler. I did good, you all. I got all my samplers out. It is this Juneteenth Day by Shaded Stitchery. It is being done on a 32 count. Oh, it's escaping me, y'all. I didn't write it down. 32 count Lugana. I know it's Be Stitch Me, and it'll come to me. If not, I'll put it down here on the screen. But I'm very glad and still enjoying my background choice. I'll insert where I was, and this is where I am. I have done so far 407 stitches this month. I've just done this row here with the second date. This is going to say Washington, D.C. And then I've done this row here, the border around that row, and then I just put in a few stitches here, so when I'm ready to start on that side, I'll already have a starting place and I won't need to count. But I had to do some frogging on this one too. I had gotten all the way over here and I was getting ready to start the 2021, and I realized I was a stitch off. And at first I was like, oh, I can fudge that, just one stitch. It just didn't feel right. So I think I started on the 2 on the 2021, and I said, nope. I got the seam ripper out and I ripped everything, the whole date out all the way across. So I didn't mind though, because now I know it's right. I'm just that kind of person. If it's wrong, I gotta fix it. I'm not a great fudger. So I do it sometimes, and sometimes I'm successful, but if I'm thinking about it and I know I've fudged it, plus I would have had to put the 2021 closer to this motif here, and it just looked off because it would have been a different distance away from this motif and the one above. So I wanted it to be symmetrical. I'm real big on symmetry. So I just said, nope, I'm going to take it out and redo it. So I would have been completely done with the row probably, but if I wouldn't have had to frog all that. But I sat down while I was watching the baseball game last night, and I do a lot of frogging during that time. So that's what I did. But I'm really enjoying this. Again, this is by Shaded Stitchery, and it is a pleasure to work on. So that is my last work in progress. I was hoping I had my tag for that one. Let me see if it's in here so I can tell you what fabric that is. Yes, Dusty Cottage by Miss Stitch Me. Good thing I kept that in my bag. So love that fabric. Hoping I have a little bit left over that I can do something else on. Otherwise, I may order some at a later time. So those are my whips. I have to restart Rosina Dissery. That is the other sampler that I have scheduled to work on this month. And I'm also still working on the Summer Quaker by Primrose Cottage, but you all, I put maybe 5 stitches in that. I kind of have in my work bag, it's my work stitch, and a lot of times at lunch I'm busy, you know, making sure that the next lab time is set up, or cleaning something in the kitchen, or making a grocery list, so during my lunchtime, so I don't always have time to actually stitch. So I did stitch. I think I got maybe like 5 stitches in on it one day, so I will pick that one back up later on. So I think next I'm going to go into my investments. Before I go into these investments, I have a shout out that I would like to give and thank her for the shout out that she gave me, and that is Stacey, the 911 Stitcher. I know a lot of my new subscribers came over on a recommendation from her. She was talking about the success that she had following my project bag tutorial. So I just want to thank her for that glowing review of that tutorial. And I'm glad that it was helpful for you, and I'm glad it's been helpful for so many of you. I love video, teaching on video. I did not even know I enjoyed that. I discovered that I enjoyed it during the pandemic. I did a lot of cooking videos on Facebook Live during the pandemic because so many people were struggling with trying to figure out what to make because, you know, people weren't eating out, people were having to cook at home. So I did, I think maybe about 10 Facebook Lives of just some of my favorite dishes that I make for my family. And then when the school year started, the school that I'm at now, I was a new teacher at that school. So my first 3 months of working at that school, I was teaching on video. We were virtual the first 3 months of school. And I was teaching my cooking classes online in my own kitchen. And I loved it. I loved just being able to explain things, and you know, I got good at doing my camera angles. So I didn't realize it, but I really enjoy teaching on video. So I'm glad that so many of you are getting something out of my tutorials. I still got a couple more I want to get to, but I'm kind of waiting because I just want to work out my explanations a little more. So thank you so much, Stacey. I appreciate you taking the time out to shout me out, and thank you for sending so many people my way. And I'm glad all of you that are new that came via her recommendation are staying and subscribing. So I appreciate you for that. Investments. I got a lot of fabric, y'all. But I went into Needlework Galleria knowing that's what I was going to mostly get. But I did make a visit to Color and Cotton because I wanted to get some threads for some projects. And I'm going to start off with, though, my Grace Notes fabric of the month. I don't remember if I showed this one. I don't think I did because I think it came right after my last video. But this is called Afternoon Tea. I do like it. It's got a very slight green tint. I mean, very slight. It's mostly a gray, but I like it. I'm looking forward to finding a project for it. I am getting one more fabric from their fabric of the month, and then I have decided to discontinue this one. I just joined it, but I have decided to discontinue. So I will get one more in September. And then I was in the Under the Sea fabrics, but I've kind of decided I'm not going to be every month for that one. And I think you do have an option. If you don't want the fabric that month, you don't have to pay for it. But I did order the September fabric because it is a pink. And I can't wait to get it. So hopefully I will have that to show the next video. This next fabric was one that I got from Color and Cotton. And it is called, it's called One of a Kind. I'm thinking that's the actual name of it. But it is a 32 count Lugana. I got 1/8 of a yard. But let me show you what I got to put on it. Well, let me just show it to you first. It's this beautiful cocoa chocolate brown 32 count Lugana, which you all know is my favorite. But what I got to go on it is DHL Moth by Kathy Barrick. I just think those colors, because they're so light, they will jump off of that nice chocolate brown. I actually was planning, when I went to the shop, I was planning to convert the threads to color and cotton. So she has a DMC rack, and that's what I'll do sometimes. If there's a DMC conversion, I'll pull the DMC and then go over to her wall of floss, color and cotton flosses, and then I'll match them up. But when I pulled the DMC, I did a floss toss and I laid them on this fabric, and I was like, I like the DMC. So I did not convert it. I'm going to use the DMC. So next month, I think something that I plan to do is I'm going to show you all my projects that I have kitted up. The threads, the fabrics, everything. So you all can see what I've got coming down the pike. I'm going to also show a special project that my son has picked out that he wants me to do for him. And he's chosen the color. I had him go through my fabrics and he picked a fabric. So I'm going to show you all that next month as well, or my next video. The other things that I got from Color and Cotton were some threads. Okay, I'll just quickly go through these. This one is eucalyptus, an earthy green. Turmeric is one of my favorites. I use that on a lot of projects. So I just got an extra skein of it because I know that way I can keep it with those particular projects. I think this is pronounced Merleton. It is a deep red, and this is going on a project, Holiday Quaker by Lila Studio. I got some of these for those. Crimson is also going to go, I think, on that project. It's a little brighter red. Blossom, I think I've gotten this for Maggie May. I don't remember, but I know I got it for a project. And they didn't have it the last time. Juniper, I got 2 skeins of that. That is for Holiday Quaker as well. Tomato Leaves is just a color I've been wanting to get. A yellowish green. Grape Leaves, I think I got that for just to have it. Mrs. Jones Stitches always shows the flosses that she gets, and I always like her recommendations. So I always have a couple of them on my list that she has recommended. These 2 are for Put a Bird on It. I'm almost out of these 2 colors, Waltz and Sangria. So I just got another one just in case I need it to finish. Winter Flannel is also something that I use a lot. So I know I need it for another project, so I just got another skein of it. And then Old Lace, another, just a nice neutral white. And then Patchwork, I got another skein of this because I'm getting ready to start a October Halloween stitch, and the house I'm changing to purple. I already have 1 skein of this. I know that house is going to take more than that, so that's why I got that one as well, and that is Patchwork. So those are the things, the threads I got from Color and Cotton. And then the last thing, I got some charts. You all know that I'm almost finished with the reindeer by Cottage Garden Samplings. So I got a couple more in her next set, which was In the Woods 2. And this is the koala. Isn't he handsome? And then the Sugar Glider. I think I mentioned in the last video, I got to get this one, and she had both of them in stock, so I grabbed them. And then she also had this one. This is a Robin Pickens design, Queen Bee. I have not done a Robin Pickens design yet, so this would be my first. So I'm gonna save this one, I think, for next summer and add it to my bee stitching. So that was my investments from Color and Cotton. So now I'm going to get into my investments from Needlework Galleria. Lots of fabric, like I told you. But I did get 2 charts. And you all, I'm really trying to cut down on my chart purchases. I really am. I promise I am. But this one is part of a set that I've already started gathering, and this is Country Cottage Needleworks Main Street Art Gallery. I have Main Street Florist and Grocer, I think, maybe even the cafe. So I wanted to get all these. I don't know how I'm going to finish them yet, but I just like the bright colors on the houses. Y'all know I love a house. So that's why I got that one. And then this came from Rosewood Manor. Karen Klubo was there as always with her magnificent booth. And I saw this one on the wall and I said, I must have it. And that is Merry, Merry Christmas. I have already decided I'm probably not going to do all of the trees. This tree and probably this tree, these two green trees, I'm going to remove. And that way I just have to scoot this tree over and that tree over. And then I think if I take out one of the Marys, it'll all fit. And that'll be it. I like that. I love it. And she had a sample of this on the wall, this actual sample on the wall, and it's beautiful. And she's got some more little fun designs on the back. So I really love that. Actually, she's got another tree. If it's an alternate tree, I might see if I can use that one in its place. But always beautiful work. Karen's always there in her booth and she just does magnificent work. So that was the last chart that I got. So now let's get very quickly into my fabrics. I got the majority of my fabrics from Needlework Jim. I believe he is out of New Jersey. He always has such a huge variety of fabrics, and I just love his designs, and he does do a little bit of dyeing himself. But these are the ones that I got. This is a 28 count Jubilee, and I also like that he just sells odd sizes. They aren't necessarily always a fat quarter. And this is one of those. This is a Jubilee, a 28 count Jubilee in black, and this is like a 15 by 21 inch piece. I know I can do something with that. And then he always has a label on there, which I enjoy and like. Helps me keep everything straight. This one, I know I have eyed this fabric color before, but he had it, and he had it in a 32 count Lugana. This is a fat quarter of Exotic Orchid. Isn't that pretty? I see a butterfly on this one. This is a 28 count casual linen. You all, I don't work on linen very often. And this is actually more than I usually pay for a piece of fabric, but it's beautiful, and I will find something to put on it. This is Lagoon Blue, and I'm usually, even though it looks to me like it's reading a little more blue, it's more green on my end, but a lot of times once I upload the video, it looks right. But isn't that a beautiful color? And it's a fat quarter size as well. And it was the only one I saw sitting there, and it kind of jumped off the table at me. And I said, nope, getting that one. And when I saw it was linen, I said, I don't care. I have to have this color. So I love that one. This next one, I have a project planned for it, so I will show it next month. But this is Charcoal Splash. This is a 32 count Lugana, a fat quarter. I'm going to put Dancer by Barbara Anna on this. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a Christmas start, I think. I think that was my last one. Let me make sure. Yes. Nope. Couple more. Country Mocha. We all know it. We all love it. Printed on one side, but this is a Country Mocha fat quarter, 32 count Lugana. And this is the last one I got from Needlework Jim, and this is one of his dyed fabrics. He dyes this one. This is Days Gone By, and it's a 20 by 26 piece. But the modeling on this, look at that. I love it. And you can do anything. This would be good for a sampler. This would just be good for something that needs to go on a neutral. So you can't go wrong with too many neutrals. These next two, and they're in the bags. I'm going to keep them in the bags, but Millennial Fabrics was there. And I think this was my first time seeing her there. She is on Facebook, and I have been a follower of her on Facebook. But these are two fat quarters. These are pretty common fabrics. This is a 32 count Lugana. I believe it is it's platinum. It says it right there, which is a very common fabric and one of my favorites to work on. I think I have a project in mind for that. And then this last one is a Stormy Night, 32 count Lugana. Very common, very popular cut. So Millennial Fabrics, and she was at Galleria as well. Now these last three came from Atomic Ranch, which is also Rogue Fabrics. The gentleman that runs that shop, he told me when I was checking out that they were actively looking to open a storefront in St. Louis. So to my St. Louis folks, and really to everybody, because I know a lot of you all travel here on your way to various places and stop through to go visit Angie at Color and Cotton. So he said they are actively looking for a storefront location. And he said there is a questionnaire on their website that if you are local to St. Louis and you have input on where maybe he could look, he is actively seeking input on that questionnaire. So I'm planning to go and look at it. But I've bought fabrics from him in the past. He was at Galleria last year, and his booth is always very popular. And it was one of the reasons I was disappointed I wasn't going to get to go on Thursday, because I knew a lot of stuff was going to be gone. But he had a very large selection, so there was plenty to pick from on Friday. This first one is Bubblegum 32 count Lugana, bright pink. That was exactly something I was looking for. And it's so cute. His mom is there helping him cut fabric and everything. She's so sweet. This next one is called Aslan. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. I love the name. But it is a 32 count Lugana. He had this in a lot of different counts available. But it's a golden neutral. Perfect for a lot of different things. This one I have a plan for. This is Sweet William. All of these are fat quarters and all of them are 32 count Lugana. And he just had a great selection of Lugana, which I appreciate. But this is going to be for the Heart and Hand Ladybug. I think it's Ladybug Picnic, but that's what is going to go on here. So that was Atomic Ranch Fabrics, and they had another section with charts and everything that was the Rogue side. These last two are from the Inspired Needle, who actually puts on the Needlework Galleria. I know they're located in Florida now. They used to be in Chicago, but I just got a couple of remnants of fabrics. This is a 28 count Jobelin, and this is called Bay Leaf. And I just thought that was a nice, subtle green. Not too bright, not too brown, but I thought that, and it was an odd size. It's a 17 by 6.5 piece. So some smalls are gonna go perfectly on that. And then the last one, this was a very nice size of Jobelin. This is also a 28 count. Natural Light. I don't think I have anything this color. I've heard the name before, and I thought it was a nice size piece. This is an 18 by 20 piece, but it's a Jobelin, which used to be my favorite back in the day, 28 count. But it's an even weave, and that was what I was looking for. So I am very pleased with the purchases that I made at Galleria. I have not seen an announcement yet for Galleria next year, but hopefully they come. While I was at Galleria, I had an opportunity to meet two of you all there, two of my viewers. The first one was Sharon. Sharon is a former St. Louisan, born and raised there, but she was there with her sister. So, hey Sharon, it was a wonderful opportunity to finally meet you. She and I have converse back and forth on Etsy Messenger because she has purchased some project bags, and she ordered a custom St. Louis Cardinals bag. So, and I know she uses it, and she and I were also on Sarah Stitchy Spot's Zoom last fall. She and I were both on there at the same time. So Sharon, it was so nice to meet you, and I'm glad you enjoyed the restaurant that I recommended. And the last person I met was Valerie. Valerie is from Chicago, and she was at Galleria, and she came up to me while I was in Needlework Jim's shop. And I just thank you, Valerie, for your kind comments and feedback on my channel. I'm glad that you enjoy it, and I'm glad how I present things benefit you. So I just was really nice of her to walk up to me. She kind of tapped me, and she told me she was coming though, because I remember seeing her comment saying that she was hoping she'd run into me. So I'm glad we found each other. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I'm easy to spot. So it was a good time. It was very crowded at the hotel where, well, let me rephrase that. There's a convention center connected to the Embassy Suites. The actual Galleria is in the Embassy Suites, and it's on the 4th floor, and each of the rooms on the 4th floor is a business. I'll insert a picture that I did take from eye level of that floor. But there was a large vintage market going on at the convention center right next door. So there was absolutely no parking. For those of you that have been there, there's a Cracker Barrel across the street. I had to park behind the Cracker Barrel and walk over. I've never had to do that. It's been crowded before, especially if I waited till Saturday to go, but it's never been that crowded on a Friday morning. I mean, I got there and there was nothing. So luckily I managed to find an area where I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to get towed here. And then I walked on over. But it was a good time. I was very happy with my purchases. So I'm looking forward to next year. If they're going to have it again, I will be there. That's all, folks. I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to sit down with me. I am a little bit behind on my own Flosstube watching, so I'm planning on catching up with that over the rest of this weekend. I do have a question that I would like for you all to let me know in the comments. If you are a grime guard user, what size do you normally prefer? I'm just trying to get an idea of what sizes to make grime guards for my Etsy shop. I have had that request, and I'm gonna try to make that happen. I've got a bunch of them cut out, but I'm in the process of deciding, should I add some additional sizes? I know what I like to use. I'm a medium nerge, large nerge, 11 by 11 Q-snap size person. So that's what I'm currently trying to figure out, what sizes to offer. So thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know what sizes you prefer for your grime guards, and hopefully next video I'll be able to let you know that they are there. Again, my Etsy shop is Layla P Creations, where I sell project bags, NFL bags. I've got a few that have just been posted. Fall and Christmas are appearing regularly. Plus some of my bestsellers, I'm trying to get those restocked. Like I said, since school started, I've kind of slowed down on my sewing. So, but I am getting stocked up for the holidays. So hopefully you'll take a minute to go check me out over there. Thank you all. I will be back in about 3 weeks and be able to show you what I've been working on. Hopefully I'll have a couple of new starts by then, and I'm going to show you the projects that I have kitted up so far. So enjoy the rest of September, and I will see you soon. And as always, you all, be blessed.